Going live. Hey, you guys. It is Ali. Oh, there we go. There you go. I am illuminated now. All right. That was weird. There's always something. Y'all know there's always something. I don't know why it looks so ghostly back here. Anyway, welcome back to my channel, you guys. It is Ali, your eccentric nomad. Y'all know I am out abroad, moving and shaking. Sometimes I'm in broad, but I'm abroad right now, and I'm just sharing with you my walk, my journey, and assisting anybody who is interested in either starting your travel journey, just starting to get out here and see the world, whether that's in your country or abroad like I'm doing, or those who are wanting to step it up a notch and go from short-term traveler, weekends, 5 to 7 days, to maybe taking a month away, doing a sabbatical, and then the next step, nomading indefinitely, to the next step, expatting, and i.e. becoming an immigrant somewhere. So I'm just here to assist you guys and just let you see the truths, highs and lows from my perspective. Um, Midwest Black girl, 51 years old, 51 years young, and just let you see what it's really like out here in this world. So if that is interesting to you, click that subscribe button wherever it is. Click that notification bell so you know when I go on, because y'all, I am not the master of scheduling and being prompt. I'll give you a quick update of where I am today, but today's video is going to be about my first impressions of Albania. This is my second time here technically, because I came and left. That is really weird, that light. I feel like I'm like at the doorway of heaven or something, it's really, really strange. But let me also just make sure that y'all can hear me too. If you can, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm on my computer today. I'm trying to see how this looks, because I was going to record a whole video, and I decided that I did not want to be editing this a year from now. So let me, actually, I guess I'm on this one. Oh, I'm on. Let me see if I can hear myself. I can. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna try to follow the chat. So if you guys have questions and stuff, shoot me a note. Yeah, shoot me a note or a chat note, please. The more you chat, the more engagement we will get. I swear. They ain't been outside working on this little scaffolding situation all morning. Soon as I go live. Okay. All right, so let's get started, you guys. Again, I am y'all eccentric nomad. I'm here just to share as much info as I possibly can with you guys about this journey, and how to plant your foot and get started on your own. So one of the parts of my journey has led me to a Balkan country, Albania. And y'all know, if y'all been following me, I was here actually September. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if it's popping in. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Still look like that's heaven. I don't know why. Anyway, what led me to this Balkan country? So I came here September 15th, 13th, something like that, from Thailand. I had spent 3 months in Thailand and my visa was expiring. My third month, my 90-day visa, or 90-day, but my last visa stamp was expiring, so I had to go. And I knew I had to go to the States, and I didn't want to go at the beginning of September. I didn't want to be there as long. Y'all kind of know the stories. If not, stay tuned for some of those individual messages and little meetups that we're going to start having at some point here. But anyway, needed to get out of Thailand and wanted to just check out a couple of places, which y'all know I'm good for. Like, one of the things I tend to do is when I'm going somewhere, or if I'm going from one place to another and I'm going to be staying for an extended period of time, I usually try to hop through a couple other places. Same as when I went from Vietnam to Thailand. Before I went to Thailand, I stopped through South Korea and Japan. And same thing here. Before I went back to the States, I decided to stop in the Balkan countries. And initially, I was going to go to Montenegro, which has been a place that I've been wanting to go. No really apparent reason. I mean, like, it's not like something I really want to see. It's just, I've been saying for a couple of years, oh, I'm going to go to Montenegro. I'm going to go to Montenegro. And then Albania came up, Croatia came up. And so I started like tinkering around and asking people about the individual countries and, just getting little bits of information. So I started Googling it and just doing a little bit comparison pricing. If I go to the States for the full month to month and a half, what's the cost going to be, as opposed and just, sitting around the States, I mainly spending money. So every time I walked outside, I spent $500. Or take an opportunity to visit around, a few detours on my way home, and do some exploring. And so I did that. So I decided to pop into Albania, which I did on September 13th. I believe it was. I believe I landed on the 13th or the 14th or something, 15th, something like that. The days start to get muddled when you're going back in time, forwards in time, stuff like that. I stayed in the main city, Tirana, for technically 2 weeks. I rented an apartment for 11 days or something like that. And the first week I ended up meeting someone who came from the States, and we had talked on social media. So we ended up meeting and hanging out, explored the city, a couple areas in the city, not the entire city, but a couple areas. If you're familiar, area around Skanderbeg Square. I stayed like 3 minutes from there. And then the area by the lake, Bloku area. And then the little bits and pieces, little areas within there as well. And, I got a good feel for it. And one of the things people do ask me all the time is why did you go to a place? Ooh, what did you go to see? Well, was it something cool? And I don't know why this is fogging in and out, y'all. This is the weirdest thing to me. So I apologize for losing my focus. I don't need help losing my focus. But anyway, I spent some time in the city, kind of vetted it out a little bit. And like I was saying, when people ask me why I'm going to a place or why am I staying, why did I pick a city and stuff like that, a lot of times, if it's long term, if I'm looking at something from a long term perspective, it's often rarely about attractions and sites. Like, sometimes it's a benefit, like you got like some really cool things there, but more so it's the energy, it's the feel, it's being in a place and can I live here long term? Can I stay here? Is this the vibe that I'm looking for? Can I settle down and become at peace and find my happy place? That's what I'm looking for. And there's certain little things that I like. So while I don't need to have like, a Coca-Cola square where, you can, do the cool things at the Coca-Cola Center, or, have like a Bonner Hills situation, which I never want to see anyway, or, I don't know, Petra, or, Abu some, like, do I need those things? Because those become one day, like, tour experiences, 1 or 2 day tour experiences. They're not life. And so for me, I typically don't even tour places. Like, I don't usually do tours if I'm looking at a place long term, because I don't want the hypeness and energy and the falsetto-ness of doing the tours and seeing the cool one-off touristy things to cloud my judgment as to whether or not I actually really like a place or not. So a lot of times I don't go because I don't pick a place to live because of tourist attractions. I pick a place to live because they might have some cool stuff that I'm interested in checking out long term, and then you just amenities and other things, access points that they may have, right? So I want to share with you guys. I'm gonna kick off with okay. So real quick, I think I kind of chatted about this. I did another video previously, then some shorts and stuff where from Tirana, I took a bus to the southern coast, Saranda, and then from the southern coast, I took a ferry over to Greece for $20. And so I did a video on how you can get to Greece for $25 or less. And that was one of the things. Like, that's a big thing. I like to, as a nomad, I still like to hop around. I like a base. Like, I put all my stuff in the closet. All my stuff, I got hangers, and because I found me a little place to be at. We're gonna test this out, test the water, so to speak, and see if I like it here. So this is kind of like my vetting process and schedule. This is day 2. I'm lying. This is day 4. This is day 2 in this apartment. I don't even know what day it is, y'all. So today's the 21st. So 21st, so I got here on the 17th. So day 5, y'all, I'm like day 2. It's day 5. Time is going by so fast. Y'all, live your life, because you'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be next year. We will be in election season when you're going to blink it. It's going to be November of 2024. We're going to be like, how we got here. Anyway, so let me go to my first impressions of Albania. And this is going to kind of culminate with the first 2 weeks I was here and these 5 days that I've been here so far. So I've been here I've been in Albania 16 days. Now, I'm not really going to talk about like logistics, visas and things like that. I'm kind of hold that. You guys can kind of search yourself, and you probably already heard me say this anyway in another video. You gotta go check that other video out, because I don't want to get sidetracked, because I get excited about this, that, and the other, and that's beyond the point of what my visual and feelings are about this space, which is kind of where I want to spend my time today. So this basically going to be pros and cons and indifferent things about the country. So like I said, I'm not going to talk logistics, but if you look on a map, you'll see where Albania is. You got the boot of Italy, which actually is this way. And Albania is over here. So I did that so difficult. And Croatia's up here, Albania, and Greece, and then Macedonia, Kosovo, so on and so forth. Okay, yeah, that was yeah, I did all that for no reason. Anyway, so that's just proximity, right? So when you start looking at your map, you're going to zoom in to Tirana, which is the main hub, international airport you're going to fly into, and then just like zoom out so you can see everything around it, right? And that's going to kind of encompass what we're going to talk about. Some of the things we're going to talk about. So some of the pros, what I think are pros. Now, this is totally based on my perspective, where I am in my personal life, what I'm looking for, what energy sensors, kind of pop out for me may not be the same for you. So when you hear something, they'll be like, oh, well, I can't go, because no, you know, weigh some things out, all right? Because it may not be something that bothers you, may not be something that you actually want, something that I'm looking for, I'm energized about. You may be like, ew, I don't want that. And then also keep in mind, this is another main tip to keep in mind. So remember that when you talk about a country, there's multiple cities, unless you're talking about Singapore, which Singapore, the city, the country, the state, it's all one. Most places when you go, there's multiple cities. So I can go to a country and not like a particular city, but there's another city that I love. So I won't necessarily bash an entire country, or I won't be elated about an entire country either. So I want y'all to keep that in mind, because I think sometimes it gets lost in the sauce a little bit, where we'll say, oh, well, I ain't going to Albania. Well, you might not be beach, person, but you might love the city. Well, maybe the city is perfect for you. So keep all that in mind, y'all, as I talk about this. All right, so pros and cons, let's get to it. Right now, y'all, it is October 21st, and most parts of certain parts of the US, we're starting to hit our fall, winter months. Same here, very similar, but they have mild temperatures year round. So I feel like without being here, without having been here, that's the proper way to say that, during a winter, that just from what I've been reading and researching, that they have really mild seasons. They're on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, so that brings in some of that warmth. You got Africa like right down here, so you got the boot of Italy, and then Africa sitting right here, y'all. Like Tunisia's here, Egypt over here. It's kind of over, but you know what I'm saying? It's like by right there. I don't think you can take a boat, but you can fly there. Anyway, so we got the Mediterranean Sea, and then we got this other little sea up in here. I think that's in the boot area. There's another area, another sea, something. Y'all can look it up. I know you can if you really want to know. If not, no worries. Okay, so mild temperatures. This is something I love, because I actually have been in tropical temperatures for the last 3 years. And so this actually is kind of culture shock for me. It's actually cold. Not cold, but it's cold enough. Like, I walk out with tanks on, because my body temperature is just, I think I'm like seeking the heat, and it's nice, but I do need to bring a jacket. Okay, I did prepare and I did pack properly. So just know that between now and the end of January, temps in the entire country, so we're talking countrywide, can go from 4 degrees Celsius, so I'm talking Celsius here. Now, y'all, will translate that to Fahrenheit as best I can, to about 34 Fahrenheit. This is year round. I'm sorry, let me go back. From October to January, it probably is anywhere between 4 and 17. So that is about the low. So the low for the day, so the nighttime can be around 30 degrees, 32. So it's like Texas weather almost, but it feels different than Texas. Y'all ain't gonna lie, it really feels different. And I was just in Texas a week ago, like last week, this time I was in Texas, and it feels different. Up to 17, which 17 is probably about 65 degrees, something like that. And that's inland. So the mountains can get at the 4s. Now, of course, it can go lower than that. It can go down to 1, which 1 would be like 35, 30, 31, something like that, and then more inland, like the Tirana area, which is the main city, is the temperatures are, interestingly enough, very similar to what they are on the coast. I think it just feels different. Honestly, I think it just feels different. So the highest that it gets on average, according to the weather centers, is in the 90s. Not even hundreds. So it's like really mild here, 90s. So if you're a person who's like, man, I don't want it too hot and I don't want it to go, this might be perfect for you. Good pricing. This is another thing, that another pro, I think, is good pricing on accommodations. So apartments. And so let me just say this really quick to you guys, because y'all know I'm always looking for some, budget, because why not? If I can save $1 here or there, then I can actually go further and I can actually do more things on my buck. My dollar can get split in a couple different ways, and I can explore the world a little bit more if I can stretch my dollar. And so if I can find accommodations similar to what I have right now, and it's not just, what are the amenities? A one bedroom or one bath with a balcony and a closet. It's not that. It's the way that it's set up. It's the space. It's the paint on the walls. It's the furniture that they use. It's the buildings. Like, so the buildings are not always to be desired here. I've learned in Albania, like, especially if you're not in like a brand new place or something like that. But if you're in the neighborhoods, you'll walk into some of these buildings. This ain't no lie. You'll walk into some of these buildings and really want to turn around and walk out like, is this normal? Like, why does this look so run down? But then you get into the apartment, you're like, okay. I wasn't expecting. It's kind of like walking down the streets in Egypt, in Giza, and the streets look like, I don't know, an earthquake hit it, but you're standing in front of the Four Seasons, which is exactly how it was when I was there. And I was just like, they don't even force them to fix this. I mean, like, this is such a prestigious hotel, and it looked like I don't know, like somebody just bombed. I hate to say the word, considering so much is going on, but somebody like destroyed the whole front, the grounds, and you can't even walk in front. Yeah, all of that. So it has that kind of feel, and you're just like, why is it like on the street side, right? But then you go to the other side. So I'm beach facing, and you got this beautiful boardwalk, and sand ain't necessarily pretty, but I mean, you got a beautiful beach, and when the sun is out, it's just amazing. It's beautiful blue, all of that. You guys check my shorts, and you'll see some of that. So when I'm talking about great accommodations, I'm looking at a number of different things, especially if I'm staying for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, where possible. Because I do like to plant. I can plant for a year like I did in Africa. For the most part, I was in one place for 7 months and then 6 months in another. If I could do a whole year somewhere, that would be fantastic, and then just be able to move around. And so I look for more than just the price itself, because price can be super cheap, but then you could have like tons of construction. You can have power outages all the time. You could have horrible Wi-Fi. So it's a number of things, and I feel like, knock on wood, where I am on the coast, which is the more subjective areas to be in, it's been good so far. I know in the city, I had no issues, but I also know someone else who was saying that they're kind of dealing with some things, but it's based on kind of the building that they're in. These are just extra tips for y'all, because, I'm gonna run through some of these like real quick, but these are just some extra little things to think about, when I'm talking about pros and cons, because you'll be like, oh, well, the price is great, but they're bummed, they're run down, they're, crappy places in some areas, but I haven't found that since in any of the 3 cities I've been in Albania. Just the outside. It's not necessarily representative of the inside. All right, so they have more modern accommodations. Y'all see, I have like 2 places where the refrigerator is built into the cabinet. Like in the States, that's like a major novelty, is to have your kitchen fitted and your refrigerator fitted to look like your cabinet, so it doesn't even look like a refrigerator. Both 2 places I've been in, $30 or less per night have that. So I mean, like the drawers that close on their own, and more modern furniture. I have like a 15-inch mattress, brand new, like Sleepy's. I don't know what it is, but it was good. I had this anyway. One of the other pros that I like too about the accommodations is, and this is a lot of places, and this is not tied to Airbnb, right? But a lot of places when you rent, and this is kind of a general thing, you'll find that all of your utilities, or at least most of them, will be included. So I think I'm paying a little bit of a premium because they don't know what my utilities would normally be. So I'm going to find out after this month, because it's so cool. I don't need to turn on the air. I don't need to turn on the air for the fan, nothing. I leave the windows open. I have such a cool sea breeze. This is where I'm located. It's just where I'm located. But I also know that I don't utilize a lot of energy either. So my place would probably even be cheaper if I covered it myself. But I went ahead and just decided to let everything be paid through the service company that I am using, right? So that's just a little benefit, a little tidbit about a benefit. And so I'll talk another time maybe about the benefits of using a service over booking yourself or signing a lease with someone directly yourself, which I've done. I've done literally all of them up to this point. But maybe I'll do another video on that and then share the service that I'm using. Another cool thing that I think is cool, Greek and Italian cuisine. So Italian, because the pizzas are fantastic. Like it's that thin, crunchy, crispy, but made very well pizza for like $4. You can get a whole pizza for $4. Talk to your girl, right? Ain't that spongy, real thick bread and all of that? Nah, I don't like that. That y'all might like that, no offense, but I like a nice, crispy, elegant ingredients. You could taste the arugula when it crunched. The arugula still got arugula stick to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Greek, I love it because we got olives, we got feta. They call it something else. Feta's better, whatever. Y'all bought a block of cheese the other day. And olives, feta. Now, I will say this. I have not found a market that sells olives, fresh olives here on the coast like they have in Tirana. So I might have to just jump on a bus to go back to pick up a few things and come back to the coast. Anyway, so Greek and Italian cuisine to me is a pro. It's a pro because I get some nice, not necessarily specific to vegan options, but they're more vegan-like options, right? Lots of walkable cities here in Albania. The 3 that I've been to, plus the little tour that we did and stuff, I feel like everything is walkable. And like you guys, if you've been watching my videos and stuff, whether it's on Instagram or some of the shorts I'm putting on here, you'll see that we got boardwalks and bike trails, and a lot of places the service I'm using, they actually rent out bikes and cars and all of that. But it's walkable. I've walked every single day that I've been here, and that is going to be my goal to make sure I do every day. Sell sim prices can be anywhere from $6 a month to $30 a month, depending on the plan that you get. And these are bundles with talk, text, and data for 30 days. And I'm using, there's 2 major carriers that you'll see. There's some other ones, I'm sure, but one is ONE, and Vodafone. Vodafone is everywhere. So that's who I went with because I've used them before. They probably are the most expensive out of the 2, but pick your preference based on what they offer. All right. And if you got Wi-Fi in your place and you're in good Wi-Fi and you're, in your apartment, I don't know, 8 of your 14 hours out and about, then you might not need the highest bundle package that they offer. All right. This is, well, I'm going to say this one for last. They're pretty open about your clothing. So one of my indifferent things is about the religion makeup here, which I'll get to later, but pretty open about your clothing. I think different cities, yeah, because let me think about it. So Saranda is on the South Coast, and it's pretty much, to me, that feels more like a beach city than this one, even though the beach is here. There's more beach here, I think, than there is in Saranda, unless you're going to a different part of the the different part of the city on the coast or whatever. But I feel like Tirana is just all holds bar, just no holds bar, just do what you do. No, nobody say nothing. You don't bother nobody, they ain't gonna bother you. Here in Durrës, I feel like it's a little bit more conventional. Like, And I might be feeling that because of the temperature and everybody's wearing long pants and stuff like that. And for me, I'm just like, it's still summertime, I got my shoulders out and stuff. So, but nobody says anything, if they say something under their breath. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know what they're saying over their breath. I can't understand the words that's coming out of their mouth. All right. It's safe to walk around at night as a woman. I pretty much, I mean, I don't do a whole lot of walking here, but when I was in Tirana, I walked home at night by myself, and I lived in the cut, So definitely just use some common sense, and if you feel unsafe, then make note and maybe go into a store and ask somebody for some assistance if you're feeling that way. Now let's get to some of the cons. I'm trying to run through these. We can always go back and touch on any of these in a separate video. But I just wanted to share, these are kind of my first impressions as I was kind of scanning around that's interesting. Okay, so here's some of the cons. You're going to get some stares, and I think it's because I look different. Clearly, I'm a Black girl. Black girl power. And my hair is different. Fantastic different. And I haven't gotten, I don't think, anything obtusely negative. But yeah, you get stared. You get stared at, and I heard that anyway before coming here. The Balkan countries, because they're not really used to seeing us. But we're here. There's a few of us. I counted 6 the other day. Sprinkled around. Well, actually, that's between 2 cities, and the other ones are probably tourists. I'm gonna keep it real as I can keep it. But you know what? I don't. It doesn't bother me as much as I will tell you the thing that bothers me the most, and this is not an Albanian thing, this is just an Eastern thing, is the no space still. I'm still trying to understand this. And today I was walking, and this lady had a baby buggy, and I'm walking along the path on the farthest end, I'm on the white line of the boardwalk walking trail kind of thing. And she's on the other side, and she decides to angle right into me. Didn't go around me, didn't go in front of me. And I just thought, I guess she thought, I don't know what she thought. And I looked at her and I was like, why would you do that? So things like that still agitate me to no end, because I'm just how do they just not have point of reference? And it's about a lot of things. It's not necessarily me. It's just how they are, because I've even watched them with each other, and I'm just, and it's not just here. When I say them, I'm just meaning people in the East. People in the East just have no concept of space and this thing of courtesy. If 4 of you are walking together and on a sidewalk, is something that we used to see in Ecuador all the time, and somebody's walking towards you, 4 of you can't stay in the sidewalk in a straight line, horizontally like this. Somebody needs to back behind to let the other person back. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. You gotta hold your ground. I did a video on this, y'all. Check my videos. All right, you're gonna get some stares. 88% of the people, it's probably 95%, are smokers. So if that's a problem for you, just note that. I will say that I believe that most of the places on the inside are smoke free, but on the outside there's smokers. You can smoke in them. The negative is that mostly everything is open air. Unless it's on the street side. So I'm so used to open air places, restaurants and things like that, you have that flow. But I mean, everybody here smokes. It's like being in Europe. I mean, I guess we are in Europe, but it just reminds me of when I was in Italy or whatever, and you sit on I remember this like it was yesterday, you sit on a bench that at least is a mile long, and it's all open, ain't nobody here. And a person comes and literally sits right next to you and smokes a cigarette. Don't know you, don't speak to you, don't nothing, but just smokes a cigarette. And I'm just like, there's a mile of bench. Why are you sitting right next to me smoking? I had to get up and walk away. They just assume everybody smokes. They'll bring you an ashtray without you asking for it. So just note that to yourself. Um, more times than not, people are cool. I was in the car getting a ride from a taxi driver, and we're just chatting, hitting it off. A couple other things I'll share here with you as well. And then he asked me, could he smoke? And I was like, well, yeah, just out your window. He was like, respect, or whatever. And so, and I have a friend here, and she partakes as well sometimes, and she's very respectful. So I asked me, she's like, I'm gonna go over here, or whatever. And so I think it kind of just depends. Some people, it's just their thing, and it's always in the air. So just know, I'm saying 88% is probably about 500%. What's up, Isaac? Hey, Shana. Good morning. Where you at, girl? Where you at? Shana, where you at? Hey, Isaac, I'm so glad you joined. I decided to do this live. I am sharing my first impressions of Albania, y'all. Okay, I'm not trying to tell too much, but I'm going to tell a few things. Okay, so these are my cons. They don't have rideshare, y'all. I'm going to tell you why this is a pain for me. So they do have taxis available. Like if you're in Tirana, it's a taxi. Every two steps you take is a taxi. Boom, it's a taxi. Boom, it's a taxi. You can get them easily. The cost can add up quickly, though, kind of depending on where you are. And let me say this, if you establish a relationship with a taxi service, they seem to be cheaper. I'm gonna give you an example. So when I arrived in Albania in September, I took a taxi from the airport. They had no rideshare. I just walked out and got a taxi because I was like, at this point, I didn't book anything. I did have a hotel, and I was like, let's just see. And it was 3,500. I think it was 3,500. Little tip. For every 100, it's 100 to 1. So for every 100 lek, LEK is their currency, it's 1 USD. So 3,500 is $35. It's close enough. It's a little bit less, but it's like $35. So just assume the high end. And so I was like, all right, fine. I'll pay the $35. So like a 30-minute drive, something like that. I don't know. Cheaper than what it is in the States. The States is $130. So I'm gonna pay that $35. Anyway, when I was getting ready to leave and go to the airport, my host at the apartment I was renting, he was like, hey, do you need I asked him if he how to get a taxi, a rideshare, because my flight was at 6 a.m. That means I need to leave at 3 to get to the airport by 4 for an international flight, which technically I should have been there at 3:30 anyway. And so I know if I go out on the street on a Sunday morning, I think it was flying Sunday or Monday, something like that, the probability of there being a taxi for me to hail would probably be slim to none. I got all my luggage and all that. And so I was really like, okay, what do I, and I could have booked something, but he gave me 2 taxis or he gave me 3 taxi companies. And one I called, they picked me up from my door. The other one couldn't even drop me at my door. He's like, he couldn't figure out how to get there, but you could drive along the streets, and they just these little alley streets and stuff like that. But I had to walk, which wasn't a big deal. But when you got all your luggage and stuff, and you a backpacker, backpacking like you got, one of them extra large suitcases, and your knees ain't right yet. Anyway, conversation for another day. So when I called them, Green Cab, I think they're called Lure here, something like that. But anyways, the Green Cab company, for them to pick me up at 3 a.m, which is normally the highest amount, like that's when you get them surcharges and stuff, they charged me $1,200 for the same exact ride. $1,200. Pre-book, $1,200. So it really kind of depends. And then coming here, so maybe the airport's only 20 minutes, because coming here is 35 minutes from the city to the coast, which is nothing. You can catch a bus for $6 directly from the airport. And they have something running every hour or every 45 minutes. Jump on the bus. I know this now next time. I just didn't, I ain't have it all together, y'all. And I was like, whatever. The place that I was renting from the first apartment I was in, they were like, hey, do you need somebody to pick you up? And I was like, well, yeah, if he can. And I was fiddling around for so long, trying to get my SIM card and all that stuff, that he ended up coming and picking me up. But they did charge me 30 euro, which comes to about 32 USD, something like that. Yeah, it was like 3,200 lek, 30 USD. So it's, but I get it. That's, 35, $30, and he had to go two-way. So he had to come to me because it's not already there, and then come in. All of them have to do that anyway. So that's one of the things that I don't like, because I'm just like, well, what if I'm out somewhere? I don't know. I'm on the north end of town. It's a long walk. And like, let's say I'm going, there's a event that's happening like on Wednesday that I might want to go to. So I know I'm going to need a cab back, to feel my safest getting back. We do like ride share, and just to be able to pick up, and you already know it's already charged. You don't have to have cash. Well, some places you have to have cash, but let's say you don't have to have cash and you already know what the amount is going to be, so you don't have to worry about being shaken down and stuff. With the taxis, they don't have meter readers and all that stuff. They just have a fee. They have an amount that they charge you. That's it. So that's a for me, but I get around with it. I'm about to rent a bike too, y'all, so I can be on ride on this boardwalk to the boardwalk, run out, and then I'll be like, where do I go? Anyway, that happens. Another con is prices are, even though accommodation prices are low, food, household items, etc., things like that, everything else seems to be. Oh, and I say food, but I just told you pizza's like 400. In some instances, I felt like when I was looking at things comparatively, I was just like, wow, this is high. Wow, this is high. And I think maybe it's more so in the grocery stores and things like that, but I'm figuring it out, maybe it'll help me. I'll decrease my food intake and lose some weight. I don't know. But there's some things that are higher priced, and I don't know, they're not necessarily imported items. It could be things that are local here. I'm back in Las Vegas now. Guadalajara was beautiful, but so you decided it's not we gotta catch up, because I do need to hear about Guadalajara. Are you doing any videos? Are you gonna post it on YouTube? Let me know. Girl, yeah, I'm gonna be by Brian. I'm out here getting myself together. So yeah, so be prepared. Like, I feel like some of the stuff, was a little bit higher priced, and I think maybe it just kind of meshes with, I was so used to being in places where the accommodations were cheap, and so was the food, like Asia. There's still nowhere in the world that compares to Asia price-wise, nowhere, and the accommodations that you can actually get. But I'm gonna tell y'all, this is pretty close, and this is pretty close with some positives in another way. All right, what time is it? If it's 4 p.m. my time, I'm saying that because my phone just rang, and I honestly, it said my son's name, but I think it was my granddaughter. So I'm gonna call her back after this. So, and then this is a con for me. Can you rent a moped or a scooter here? You know what? Interestingly, that's a good question. And you don't really see mopeds and scooters here. Not like Vietnam and Thailand. Everybody's on a moped and a scooter. I've seen one person on a motorcycle. And I'm gonna tell you, Durrës is really not that big. Like the coastal city I'm in, it really just isn't that big, but it's big enough that I don't want to walk an hour to get to the center of the city, which is where the amphitheater is and the mall is up there. And then the guy, I did pay for a taxi from that area back to where I am, and he charged me $1,200, which is like $12, which I kind of think is high. When you live in a world and you've been in Vietnam and Thailand and you're paying like 40 cents for 40-minute rides, like, so I got to recalibrate what's expensive and what's not expensive. And so, but I do have a taxi company here, and the people who I'm renting from, the service I'm renting from, the guy's like, if you need anything, you need to ride and go from the other end of town, just call me and I'll take you. Of course I'll pay him, but I'll take them. I'm on a plane, so I gotta hop off. Look forward to more updates on Albania. You're welcome. Thanks, bro, for hopping on. I appreciate you. Safe travels. Where you going? Call me. Do I need to pick you up at the airport? I'll let you, girl. All right, so let's see. So I said no ride share, and this is the last con. Well, no, I got two more cons, and then I'm gonna do my indifferent list. Sunshine decreases below 5 hours between December to March. So that's one of my negatives about wintertime is sunlight, daylight hours. So I'm going to see what that really means because most of the places on the east side, people don't come to life until 6 or 7 p.m. And so like at 11, even 12 o'clock, you'll see even kids out there playing soccer and stuff like that, right downstairs at night. So I don't know if it affects them as much, but for me, I don't know how that would impact me. So I'm gonna be playing around with that, engaging, and that's the benefit of being a nomad. Because if it don't work out, I'm just gonna get up and leave, right? Even though there's some other huge benefits to being here, especially making this my home base, at least for the duration that I'm thinking. But I'm in a very elated spirit right now, and I don't want to ignore that or take it for granted. So I'm just really honing in and just trying to, just feel my way through and also be true to myself. So if something is not right, just not staying because, oh, the price is good. Well, I can go back to Vietnam. It's raining over there though now. I can go back to Thailand. It's raining over there now too. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. So I have other options. I can move around a little bit. I can go to Italy really quick as well. All right, so let's get to the indifferent list. Okay. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I have one more con. So my other con, this is mainly for the ladies. It's a con and a pro because I actually didn't read it on the pro side, but it's a con and a pro. And this is men will catcall you, or not necessarily catcall you, but men will try to talk to you, and they are very direct. They'll walk up to you, and this is the older folks and the younger ones. It don't matter. The one thing that I've noticed in the European spectrum is that people are not afraid to approach you. So ladies from the US, especially us melanated beauties, if you're a person that's like, man, I don't ever get approached by dudes. Well, yeah, just and you look good, it's a pro and a con. And the reason I say it's a pro because it's nice. It's like, somebody finds you attractive and walks up and all this. It's great. They aren't afraid to say hello. Just simply, can I have a seat? You don't know when you tell somebody, yes, they can have a seat, that they're going to tell you they pension and that you can stay with them. And you're like, what's your name? What's going on, right? But the con to that is sometimes the directness, or even like if you're laughing and playing around or saying things can get lost in translation, and you'll hear a lot of people say be mindful of what some would call flirting, because just a simple hey or laughing or okay, I'll talk to you later turns into I want to see you, keep calling me, things like that. So it's usually harmless, at least from what I've experienced in my illustrious travels, but it can be annoying sometimes. So it's like the overwhelming awesomeness of having full-size men approach you. What? Laughing out loud, the men's there are both, girl. Yes. We'll do a private video to talk about the men's. So just be mindful of that. So like I said, it could be a pro and it can be a con depending on where you are. Like, you'd be doing something. I had a dude, I ignored this dude the entire time. I was walking, I was listening to something on my phone. It's like I wasn't holding my phone up, I don't think, but I was listening to something. Anyway, I noticed the guy in the car and he stopped in the middle of the street. And he's like, hey, or he was saying something or whatever. And I was like, I don't have time today. Like, I just really don't. And I didn't have the mental time for it. I was like, I just, so I was kindly ignoring. He just pulls up and then he's like driving beside me, but he's in the street blocking all these cars. So, like, they be real with it. Like, this is straight up the 70s, 80s. What's up, girl? They don't be like that. But, they make it known if they're interested. You'll be walking by a place. A lot of these places, there's men in these establishments during the day because they'll be having beer or coffee, just sitting and chatting and things like that. And you'll hear them say, hey, beautiful girl. Oh, it's a beautiful girl walking right there. And they talking to you because ain't nobody else out here, right? And so you'd be like, don't say nothing. If you're not interested in engaging, longer term, just keep walking, smile, say thank you, keep walking, or say nothing at all and keep walking. Um, so just FYI, that's a pro and a con. Yes, full size man, girl. Hey, boo, hey. All right, so let's get to the indifferent side. I'm on here 49 minutes. I don't know what I've been talking about for 49 minutes because I swear I feel like it's 10 minutes of information. All right, so indifferent, but worth noting things that about Albania that I noticed since I've been here. Thing that's important, I think, especially for women, but for all of us, so that number one, we are respectful, we're knowledgeable about what that means and the impact our actions and behavior can have. So the country is like predominantly the main religion is Islam here, and then followed by Christianity. But so this is an indifferent thing. This is just know before you go. So I was a little hesitant and leery because I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I don't want to be in a place that I have to monitor. This is, what I'm wearing. I mean, I'm not like out here naked and stuff like that, although some would call this naked. But I didn't want to be in a place where I couldn't wear shorts or tank and, be comfortable. Where I got to put so much thought into what I'm wearing and all of that. And that's just my preference. And that's why I said it's indifferent, because for some people it matters and some people it doesn't. But one of the things that I will tell you, and this I kind of alluded to earlier, is depending on the city you're in, you'll see some slight differences. But one of the things that I noticed, and I think I missed this pro. Oh, I totally missed one. Everyone, this is a pro. Everyone is generally welcoming. Like I haven't really run into anyone that was cruel or crude. I don't know what they're saying, but for the most part, like I haven't met, but you're not going to be met like with like, this is the con of that pro is, expecting people to smile, because not everybody does that. Now, if you look at them directly and like you're checking out or something and you say hello, or you try to use one of their, their language or something like that, they will smile. It's like that breaking of the ice, like, who are you? And it's not really that you're trying to prove that you're like some person that's, this, that, and the other. It's just respecting their culture. You're in a place that they're familiar with and they're not familiar with you. And one of the things that I think comes across greatly with people who travel, tourists, even expats, is, our disdain for, or not disdain, but our kind of neglect or irresponsibility, or just, we don't care to consider the culture of places that we visit. And so that can leave sometimes a bad taste in the locals who service the community's mouths, because they're the ones that you're going to see in the grocery stores and, in the bars and the restaurants, walking up and down the street. These are the people that you're going to encounter more so than not. And so when they have a bad experience or multiple bad experiences, because, travelers often just take a lot of things for granted. They may be just waiting, they just waiting for you to do the same thing. And so, just even very small gestures, this is anywhere, it's not just Albania, but, just something worth noting, because I know in the US, like we go to a lot of places and we expect like a certain behavior, we expect certain conversational, elements. We expect certain, emotional ties to things, and that doesn't always happen. That doesn't mean that somebody doesn't like us per se. They might not. Oh no, I live in the States. They don't like me there neither. But smiling in your face all the time. They want to. Anyway, so these are just things just to let you know. Don't be, put off as quickly unless somebody literally is like at you, kind of, coming at you in a certain way. It's sometimes like there's some people who just never look like they smile. And I swear you'll be in some of these places, you'll be like, they always look mean and all that, but they're not. They're a lot of times they're not. They're just waiting for a reason to smile. I don't know. I say the same thing when you can meet. You'll think Russians and German people are always scowl face and all that. I swear for God, they are not. Some of them be the hypest people ever. All right, so back to some of my indifference. So that's the thing to know is about the religion and to be aware, but they are accepting of everyone. When I was in Tirana, some people wear, women wear hijabs, fully covered, everything. Some of the ladies in the city are like, they wearing as little to nothing. And everybody, ain't nobody turn an eye. Everybody mind their own business. Respect, respect. This one tour guide that I had who actually convinced me to come here, um, he said the one motto that we have is everybody is welcome in Albania. Everybody is welcome. We treat you like your family when you come here. And that's what I felt, specifically with the people that I've met directly. That's when I feel like I'm at home. Like I just text this dude and be like, hey, such and such happened. He like, I'm on it. Okay. Hey, boy. Hey. All right. So indifference. This is an indifferent thing. There's lots of Italians here. So what does that mean? That the language tends to be Albanian or Italian and some German in here. Because people are like, okay, so you can't speak Albanian. They're like, do you speak Italian? It's like, why? Well, it's right across the pond, quite frankly. So, ironically, my Duolingo, I'm learning Spanish and Italian because if you can learn Spanish, you can usually easily pick up Italian. So I ended up meeting this, I was in my own business, older gentleman came and sat down and he was speaking in Italian. And the best I could do without using my Google Translate, which we did end up using, I said that like Spanish, using, is I was speaking in Spanish because I could understand what he was saying to a certain extent because I can associate some of the words with Spanish. There's not all of them, not a lot even, but you can kind of get the gist when we're talking broken. You can get the gist. And when I would say certain things, even in Spanish, and I would say the Spanish, but do you understand? And he would understand. So anyway, just FYI. So not everybody learns the necessarily the native language. And even where I am on the coast, I've been told that more people actually will speak Italian here. I've walked in stores and people say grazie and they don't, instead of saying felomanderi, so, you just kind of play it by ear, right? And then some people say, thank you, just like, thank you. Older community here in Durrës, this is just a little tidbit to know. Younger touristy community in Saranda, which is the southern, one of the southern cities that you can take a 30-minute ferry over to Greece. And if you're in Tirana, you'll typically run into people who are business mindsets or, the city lifers, those who really like the city feel, because it definitely feels like a city. It's still small, but it still feels like a city in Tirana. So those are the three main cities that I've experienced so far. There's other ones, Golem, Vlore, I don't know how you say it. VLORE. I think we got 2 dots over it. Okay. The other thing, this is indifferent but need to know, is a lot of places will say they're cash society. And I think they say that because in the local neighborhoods, which is kind of where I am, I'm on the local end of town. When you walk on the street side, there's street vendors. These are markets, but street. So it's like when I was in Asia, except in Europe, and they take only cash. Most of them. I don't think I've seen anyone that takes a credit card. But the restaurants, especially more upscale restaurants and the ones that are right along here, they'll take credit card. Now, if you're getting a cappuccino for 150 lek, which is $1.50 USD, please pay with cash. Please pay with cash. They probably don't. Yeah, play with cash. Be easy on them, because one of the things I want to mention, this as a tip, is where we ignore or we don't think about it because we are using a U.S. issued credit card. When we swipe our credit card, we're only being charged the fee once you let it roll past the 30 days or whatever. So we're not necessarily getting not always. I don't know. I ain't been there in a long time. I need to check my receipts. They might be charging. So they have service fees and stuff, but they don't necessarily have a swipe, like a card usage fee, a handling fee, right? Whereas other countries, they'll tell you right out the bat. Like I was somewhere, I can't remember where I was. I can picture it, but I can't remember where, was I in Panama or somewhere? I can't remember. Dang, where was I? And the guy was like, there's an extra 10%, which isn't necessarily bad. It's the principle of it though, that they add to the bill if you use a credit card, because it's to cover their fee plus the fee that they pay, the fee they pay their bank, the fee that I guess the US bank charges them. So just FYI, when you go to a place and they're like, we don't use a card, or can you pay cash? We prefer cash, because they also get tied up in the red tape of the money, the exchange going back and forth. So that's sometimes why. So they prefer cash. Even paying my rent in both places, they wanted cash. They actually wanted euro. It was like, your ATMs don't give out euro, your ATMs give out lek. So they take lek, but some places prefer euro. And one other just tidbit, and I can do a whole nother video because I have a whole bunch of other things, but this is another thing kind of related to what I was talking about in the beginning about sightseeing and tours. Most of the sites here in the country are outside of the main cities. So like you got to drive like 30, 40 minutes minimum, or you end up going over a border. You can actually do tours from Tirana over the border to Montenegro for a day, over the border to Macedonia for a day, inland to the Blue Lake, which is where I went, or the caves and stuff like that. And that stuff is obviously further inland because you get the waterfalls and all that stuff. So they're, like most attractions are outside of the city. So just FYI, just being aware of that as well. So depending on what it is you're looking for, especially if you're looking at doing something like this longer term, which there's definitely a benefit to consider doing it long term, like I am considering, there's just things to think about. So let me know if that is helpful. I'm going in my pros and cons, my first impressions there, and kind of leave it open for you guys to nettle in that and ask me any questions offline. Please leave me some messages, comment, click that subscribe button, that notification bell, so that you get notified when I post another video or go live. Y'all, I'm gonna have more coming out. I'm just gonna try to be, I think, just going live or just posting raw, unedited videos. I'm not going to lie, when I create a video and it's a recording, I will go back and listen to it, and I swear, then I'm just like trying to edit every little bit, and I don't even want to do that. I just want to record it. Whatever happens in the video happens. So y'all gonna get raw footage uncut, and just get this information out to you guys. And then I can start working on getting my Patreon with some of the more intricate things that I know you all want to talk about there, and spend my time on that more so than trying to edit just speaking videos in the first place. So hopefully this is helpful. Thanks, Shanna, for always checking in and, supporting me. I hope you're good back there in the States. I was there for 3 weeks. I am happy that I am ghost now and in another place. So definitely want to hear about Guadalajara. So let's figure out how to share that information. Let me know if you're going to be doing any videos. I don't know if you post any videos or not. I haven't seen any. But I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear more about Guadalajara, because I did pass up on it, but it was on my short list if I head back to the Mexico, Central America area. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. That's what I'm thinking about in Albania. And hopefully I'll check y'all back on the next video. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles, peace and hair grace. I'm going to go back into heaven. I don't want it to really let me disappear. Anyway, bye, y'all.